Well, if he doesn't like you, you can tell that SOB that he is fired.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
There's no way she could be my wife.
If they find out you snitched, you get a dead horse's chopped off head in your bed.
Don't call my mother your lover.
Go! For the record, your mom came on to me. Yeah! Limo lady! We're going completely carbon neutral! Hold on, they're lithium. World's largest ocean.
Calculating. Pacific!
Who's hungry?
When you're coming home, you know what? Can I call you back? That'd be great. Thank you.
Together then. Oh, yeah.
That's my pool.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
And that's it.
We are blowing the roof off! Blowing the roof off!
Shroot sperm are strong, but they're no match for a grown shroot man.
We lose half our clients for no damn good reason.
Well, folks, here we are again at the end of another season of The Office. As this is bound to be a longer video, I'm going to put timestamps in the description for all the different topics we're going to get to today. Season 6 of The Office premiered on September 17th, 2009, and concluded on May 20th, 2010. It included directing credits from Toby, the cameraman, the editor, Ryan, Jim, Harold Ramis, Michael Scott, Kelly, Dwight. And while viewership was down a bit in previous years, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, Season 6 is generally well received by critics and fans. We're introduced to Isabel, Nick, Joe, Gabe, and Cece Halpert. The series reveled in its small comedy.
A queen-size bed is 5 feet wide. I am not 5 feet wide.
I'm not a physics major, Stanley. I'm just saying, be careful.
And its big set pieces.
I love you, New York!
The offensive.
Jesus sort of ruined the party. Hurt, petulant Jesus.
And the heartwarming.
I can use this for so many nuts. Macadamias, Brazil nuts, pecans, almonds.
The simple.
I started borrowing his office to fart in.
And the elaborate.
Bum 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 pum 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 pum. Ay ay ay.
The subtle. And the zany. So let's get analytical first and see what's really going on in Season 6.
Warning! Warning! Warning!
I understand nothing.
I get obsessive about finding the least amount of words possible to convey a meaning, so I've been toiling with boiling this entire season down to one word. A single word that could manifest what I really think about this season of The Office. Maybe you have one.
Terrible.
I think I have mine.
Boing.
We're gonna get there, but to do so, let's look at some of the noteworthy arcs of Season 6.
We're gonna come back with a plan. My plan, pan.
Okay, so Season 6 starts off with gossip, using the summer interns as a framework to convey a summer break. The first major plot line of the season is then introduced.
Pam's pregnant.
A very deep plot line of the season is also introduced.
You told everyone I was having an affair.
Hey, what up, Cynthia?
This arc is subtly in the background for the majority of the season, and I haven't decided if this is really smart or if it was on accident, as infidelity, or at least like the drive to be with someone that you can't, is a reoccurring theme in this season, with Dwight having eyes for Isabel, even though there's fresh ink on this kid contract.
Dwight Kurt Schrute.
Shut what?
There's a really deep subplot between the webisodes and a little bit in the show between Ryan and Aaron.
I want to sleep with you.
And then the obvious arc later in the season.
I'm the mistress.
We're going to get to that one in just a minute. From gossip, we move directly to a string of episodes which revolve around the co-manager plotline. Jim's been up and down in his work ethic over the years.
Yeah, I just moved it an inch every time I went to the bathroom. And that's how I spent my entire day that day. Bring me players.
But now he's putting himself out there, and he ends up landing a co-manager position. But with Buffalo being shut down, Michael now has a lot more responsibility. The reality is that Michael probably should have been promoted here, but corporate kind of finessed his ego enough to warrant this co-manager solution. So this arc has some fun with Michael dealing with having to share power.
Can I also be a boss?
And Jim having to learn that his employees really aren't his friends anymore.
Michael's my only friend left in the office. Except Pam. I think. She's still upset.
And then there's the whole Dwight's trying to plot against Jim's promotion.
Makes me want to put him in a triangle chokehold and force him down to the ground and just keep pressing and pressing and then flip him over and then put him in a hammerlock.
In the thick of the co-manager plotline, the series takes a break for the Halperts to get hitched. This kicks off a short-lived arc with the budding relationship between Michael and Pam's mom.
Don't call her mom. She's right on my way home from work.
Then take a different way home, man.
That obviously creates some friction in the office.
I could give a about your happiness. Stop dating my mother.
And eventually Michael's the situation.
Utility.
Towards the tail end of that, the show starts seeding in some significant problems behind the scenes at Dunder Mifflin.
Is this because of the 60-minute segment about working conditions in our Peruvian paper mill?
That was a hit job. If you read the Dunder Mifflin press release,
which goes into full effect in the murder episode.
It is rumored that they will recommend declaring bankruptcy.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Lord, we're all gonna lose our job.
Followed up by the shareholders meeting, in which it's revealed that Dunder Mifflin is going down for sure.
We're going bankrupt, you think?
We take a quick hiatus to explore Scott's Tots. My only guess as to why this episode exists within this point in the season is to show the similarities between Michael and Dunder Mifflin. That though intentions were to take care of people, there really wasn't any way to do it. Disappointment and consolation prizes, sometimes that's the best you can hope for.
You owe this to us.
Fun. Scott's Dots introduce us to a new element in the co-manager plotline, which now involves Ryan's assistants.
I wouldn't even know how to begin it. I found a copy of it in the copier tray.
This goes absolutely nowhere, as we find out that Dunder Mifflin has been bought in the Christmas episode.
We have been sold.
Oh,
what?
What? Jesus. Come on.
Then we start a new arc with Saber in season 6. Along with a new name, we get a new set of characters. Arguably, a super anticlimactic end to the co-manager plotline.
We got to do something about that.
Absolving Dwight's main motive for the season, but initiating a really deep arc involving David Wallace. And we have a string of episodes in which the office is just adjusting to life with Saber.
Really? You don't have enough water in there? Your stomach?
We take a break from those plot lines again to have Jim and Pam's baby.
I want to hold the baby!
And then that explains Pam's absence for a few episodes and kicks off a subplot between Dwight and Angela.
Bear my child.
Excuse me?
Alongside of that, a romantic will they won't they that nobody cared about came to a head during this stretch of episodes. Michael spills beans on Secretary's Day.
Probably didn't want you to have a mental image of him having sex with somebody else.
Then the Michael and Donna plotline started, as I mentioned before, in the happy hour episode. Later, Michael finds out that he's the other guy, and he breaks it off. We wrap up the season with Andy spilling the beans on a subplot that was introduced in the cover-up episode.
This guy's a snitch. He's the snitch. So that's it. Check it out.
And then it's revealed that Michael still has feelings for Holly. Aaron might be down to get back with Andy. Who cares? And it's clear that Angela is the pursuant here.
I want eye contact.
Probably hoping that this reworked contract can hook Dwight back into his monkey tamer role.
No, please don't do this, monkey. That's the union of the monkey.
Monkey problems? No, I'm not having monkey problems. Why would I have monkey problems?
So putting it all together, we have all of these plot lines, which started in season 6. It seems like there's a lot happening there, but if we remove the plot lines which come and go in season 6 with no character growth impact at all, we're left with these. And honestly, I think it's being nice leaving the Saber acquisition on that list, as the plotline is fairly inconsequential for the next season, which brings me to my main point. So, the word that I would choose to sum up this entire season is inconsequential. It's much ado about nothing.
And let me tell you, I would so much rather play the part on stage.
It feels like there's a lot happening, as there's always 3 or 4 subplots happening in any given episode. The problem is, for the most part, there is no good payoff for any of these arcs. There are no stakes.
Where's my steak?
Most of them fizzle out without any real substance, and the rest aren't quite satisfying.
We're gonna believe that guy?
Leaving the majority of this season feeling inconsequential. Behind the scenes at The Office, some of the original show creators and writers were only loosely affiliated with the series now, meaning that a new set of writers were taking on the task of continuing the story. And I mean, we've talked so much about the evolution that we've had so far. Every season has one-upped the previous. The bits got more extreme, the set pieces were more elaborate, purposefully so. The stress relief was a repilot for the show.
Attention!
Putting it on a new course, a direction that the new set of writers would have to navigate, while doing justice to these characters that the fandom came to love over the years. So to me, it feels as though Season 6 is really just them playing it safe, playing in the sandbox that has been created for them, falling into sitcom tropes like stunt hiring.
I'm Jolene Bennett, Joe for short. I'm a breast cancer survivor, close personal friends with Nancy Pelosi, and Truman Capote and I slept with 3 of the same guys.
As well as a lot of sitcom trope story building. And like I said, there was always a lot happening. Nothing was actually happening. All the characters except Jim and Pam virtually end up in the exact same position that they started the season out with. Take Michael Scott Paper Company arc, for example, and compare it to any arc in Season 6, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about.
Keep philosophers busy for a while.
It has a satisfying payoff, and everyone involved seems to have gained a level in the process while presenting a compelling conclusion to the story. And Season 6 is just less engaging in that sense. It's possible that the real thick of these arcs were dropped in the writing process, making room for jokes, making room for other subplots, or maybe there's just some left on the cutting room floor that we're gonna see in some supercut episode in the future. All of that is not to say that this is a bad season of The Office. Honestly, it's pretty good.
Michael, can I have an advance on my paycheck because a Mrs. Field cookie just opened up at the mall?
The chaos does make it feel fast-paced, and the heartwarming stories take a hard hit. The cringe is in full effect, and the writing continues to have the quick cadence of joke-telling that the series is known for at this point. I'm basically turning into the IMDb guys, going on for like 4 hours on the stuff I didn't like, but, you know, still rating it a 9 out of 10, I get it. For now, what I want to do is look back at my Season 6 field guide, so let's go. Okay, so starting right off the bat, someone, maybe a close friend, should have told me that my beard was getting a little out of control. It's like reaching dude who lives in grandma's basement level of chaos. No offense if you live in your grandma's basement.
Is that my grandmother?
That aside, I got a lot of comments about me hopping off my roof for that one, and the introduction of the dummy. That was a lot of fun. Basically, oh, and you can see my dog Brooke in that. She's laying down back there. Brooke is literally in every one of my videos, just out of frame.
You need to go to your spot, and you need to chill. You're being too loud. Good girl. Stay.
Say hi, Brooke. Okay. But I loved making skits this season, and I'm sure as time allows, I'm gonna do more.
Phyllis, you're Hitler. Come up here. Toby, you're Toby. Andy, you're Bin Laden.
I did try to make some adjustments to my field guides for the first few episodes in Season 6. This was an attempt to make the intros feel a little bit more cinematic and play with the content from The Office a little bit more. There was a little miniature revolt in the comments. Apparently people like to hear me say, "Hey, I'm Chris, and welcome to The Office Field Guide. I'm reviewing every episode of The Office ever, and today we're looking at..."
Shove it up your butt.
So we brought that back pretty quickly. Oh, I said something in the Mafia episode about being from a cornfield in Illinois and now living in the burbs in St. Louis, and I got a lot of comments about nefarious Mafia activity all around me, so I don't really know what to do with that, but I stand corrected. I guess it's a thing. And in Koi Pond, I made a point about this board. This one's on me. The arrow's pointing in the wrong place. That was an arrow. That was an arrow error. And then I think I offended half my audience when I said that I didn't like bagels. Tried some bagels in Scranton.
Tastes like a bagel.
Still didn't like them. I loved the reaction though. So, I also talked about my hatred of board games and my utter distaste for pickles, both of which absolutely true.
Disgusting.
I did love to do this skit and murder. Do you get tired of talking to no one about your favorite TV show, The Office? Well, now you can get 10 of your closest friends together to solve the greatest murder mystery of all time. You and your friends can frustratingly spend the first half an hour trying to organize all the set pieces. And on that, a lot of people were telling me that there's an Office version of Clue, but it's not the same thing. I'm thinking like big party game like this should exist. Somebody still needs to make that. Contact me. I'm going to help you market it. Maybe even invest if, we want to work out a deal.
Dummies, morons, and idiots, because that's what you'd have to be to own it.
So one of the peaks for this season was the Scott's Tots Field Guide. This was a special episode for me. One, because I know that it's a special episode of The Office for the fandom. I've had this concept of playing with the science behind our reaction to cringe for a while now, and this was a perfect time to work that in.
No, the monkey!
Go back to the monkey.
It's science.
This was a real collaborative effort, too, between the guest, my editor, the scientist I ripped off, and, myself. I was traveling when I watched the first cut of this episode, and I was cheesing the whole time. Okay, so moving on. I do have to own up to something. I gave the Secret Santa episode a pretty scathing review. I do try to not let personal things in my life vibe onto this series, but it was probably a collision of the darkness from that episode conflicting with some real life darkness I was dealing with. So, I'll own that. I'm still not sure the episode is that good.
They stink up the bathroom with their smelly poos because they don't eat as quality food as us, because they're poor.
And then moving on from there, one of the most surprising things from this season was the banker, which I had totally charted in my head as a throwaway field guide, pretty much became one of my top watched field guides of season 6. I loved getting to interview David Rogers, which was not expected, but it was awesome. And I got to do another skit. A skit, by the way, that I had a lot more plans to elaborate on throughout the rest of season 6. It just didn't happen.
Calculating.
And their ability to weave in colors, like how they use the color red to even symbolize the... How they use the color red to even... Oh, come here, little guy. What happened? So with that, let's rate this thing. But I'm not saying the dummy's gone. Maybe it'll make a return. Get out of my chair. There was a fascinating little revolt in the comments about my take on new leads, which I got a kick out of the irony of this situation, but the main criticism was that I didn't directly deal with some of the real relationship stuff that was happening in that episode. Specifically this.
Damn right you're not, because it's for me and Michael only! Yeah!
And honestly, that was on purpose. And while I think Brent wrote a really fascinating episode, just like Mafia, the characters kind of fall into these sitcom tropes, and they act completely out of context for the series.
I'll go, Michael. You'll just screw it up.
It's a very Simpsons-esque thing going on there. That there's no stakes for anything that's happening in this episode, and there's no results from their time at the dump. It's just happening to close out the little mini arc from that episode. In my opinion, those two groups of people reconcile without any fallout whatsoever, no consequences, no nothing. So I didn't talk about it, because it all feels as weighty as the thing Michael's saying about the plant.
Hope grows
in a dump.
But that's really it. Either I didn't screw up a lot of stuff in this season, or you just, were taking it easy on me in the comments. So with that, let's talk about what might be the best episode of season 6 in the Dundies.
And then I gotta
get him to the Dundies.
All right, so the categories for this, I kind of make up every single year. They're completely subjective, so I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. With that, let's go. The You Gave Me a Heart On Dundie. Now, this is a really special award for this season. We have some notable, heartwarming moments, like Michael and Joe's plane conversation.
Nobody will want to play with my Barbie.
Which I completely disagree with you people on. I actually think that's really manipulative and bad, but it's on the list. Pam feeds Cece for the first time.
Please don't talk about my breast milk.
Jim's turn in the murder episode.
There has been another murder.
A murder, you say? I do declare.
Michael and Aaron's connection in both Scott's Tots.
Hey, Mr. Scott, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make a dream come true, yeah.
And Secretary's Day.
And I don't think she's ever pooped in her life.
But the real winner for the Heart on Dundie.
They all have heart-ons for you.
Goes to the dance sequence in Niagara. I'm a sucker for those types of scenes. I think that was really well done, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so next up, this could have been an email Dundie. Honestly, there's not that many bad episodes in season 6, but there are some notable duds. The Banker is just a clip episode, totally worth skipping these days, but honestly, I don't think it's that bad of an episode. It's kind of creative. Also, I think it'd be lazy to choose that one, so...
Are you calling me wrong?
Really, the winner here is an episode that had no purpose at all.
Top of the morning to ya.
Every plot line within it is wasted, and, you know, the laughs are few and far between.
Maybe next queer.
While it ends on a little bit of a heartwarming bit...
No, put your credit cards away, it's on us.
St. Patrick's Day could have been an email.
You'll have to be more specific, Dwight. I get like 8 emails a day.
All right, the turntables Dundie.
Well. How the turntables...
We have a lot of great Michaelisms in this season.
There is nothing more insulting to a great salesman than having to listen to a bad salesman. It's like a great basketball player having to listen to a bad basketball player.
I have your baguette. They all have heart-ons for you.
Mobsters are.
There is no such thing as monsters. The odds of them getting together were insurmountable.
Anorexia. She's an anorexitic.
Absolutely not. Like I said before,
Eso es lo que dice él.
That's what he says?
Damn it. You are a waste of life and you should give up. Is what I want to say, but I won't. But you know what's invaluable? Is intuition.
You can't yell out, I need this, as you pin down an employee on your lap.
If anything, I am robbing the grave. No, that's super clearish.
Oh, honey, surely you don't want that.
I surely do, and don't call me honey.
But the best Michaelism, for my money, the one that gets the award for equal balance, ignorance, and sincerity, goes to this line in New Leads.
Make friends first, make sales second, make love third, in no particular order.
Something about that line gets me every time. It's amazing, it's revelatory, and it's Michael's motives in that episode, and it's just really funny. Next up, we have the I've been crying since Tuesday Dundie.
Are you crying?
No, I'm just sweating.
Now, there's a fine line between cringe and just crushing moments, and we may blur it here a little bit. The winner of this award gets it for creating a scenario so soul-crushing that it sticks with me weeks, months, years later. Notable moments might include Michael's breakup with Helene.
And I want kids. And you, unfortunately, have already completed that part of your journey down there.
Oscar's unwanted speaking engagement.
Tell them what you told me. This is genius. Tell them about the cash flow.
Most of Michael's behavior in Secret Santa.
Franny Claus over there when you can sit on my lap. I'm the real thing. Sit down on my lap and there will be no doubt.
Okay.
But the moment is so cringe-inducing, it messes with me as a person. And it's probably the dirtiest this season gets.
And it's, you guessed it, this moment from New Leads.
All right, Dwight, here we go. Here we go. Oh, God!
Oh.
That is just so disgusting!
I don't really think I'm a clean person, per se, until I see that happen. And it just messes with me. Did you guys think I was going to talk about Scott's tots? Probably would have been a good idea.
So I don't know what to think about this award.
Okay, V, who do you think you are, Dundee?
Who do you think you are?
There's a lot to love about our four main characters, for sure. But beyond them, there's a lot to love about what these actors bring to these roles. Notable mentions are...
Who's been saying that there's another person inside of me, working me with controls? Or cookies.
Okay, you know what?
You got a leaky spark tube.
Okay, all right.
Who's playing with the button?
But the who do you think you are, Dundee, goes to Kevin Malone for...
I already got to yours, Kev.
No, that's cool. Sometimes I run. I'm a runner.
Okay, so just a couple more here. The most like a Monday afternoon something could possibly be, Dundee. This award goes to the episode that I think best encapsulates the small comedy the show was originally known for. Meaning that you could pick this episode up, drop the romantic plot lines, and put it in season 2 or season 3 without making it feel out of place at all. For me, The Promotion is the most Office episode of The Office this season.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
Self-contained, and it's just a beautiful bouncing off of these characters in an office scenario that's just really well done.
How Michael spends his time. As you can see, we have procrastinating and distracting others. And this tiny sliver here is critical thinking.
Last up is the Dundee for the best episode in season 6. Okay, so I only rated one episode, 5 out of 5 this entire season. While I think notable episodes like Gossip, Scott's Tots, and maybe Secretary's Day in there are some great episodes in season 6. But I think the best episode in season 6, where my head continually went as I thought about this all season long.
There has been a murder.
What?
What?
I can't lavish enough praise on this episode. It's a self-contained character study in which everyone is dealing with the same calamity in a variety of ways.
Yo.
There's layers to the writing, and I think it's genius.
Today, of all days...
You shut up! They need this game, Jim. Let us have this stupid little game, all right?
The actors are bringing their A game. It's directed by the man, Greg Daniels himself. Murder from start to finish just nails what The Office is. It's not just Jim and Pam, it's not Dwight being weird, or a cast of crazy characters, or even just Michael Scott.
Tube City, you owe me one.
It's so much more, which leads me to this moment, and it's something we have to talk about.
Hey, you can transfer Holly back from Nashua.
Let me see what I can do.
Okay, so everyone familiar with the show knows what this moment means.
Hey, you can transfer Holly back from Nashua.
Let me see what I can do.
Never send a no for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Next week, I'm going to release a video called
Hey, Mr. Scott, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make our dreams come true.
Maybe not called that, but every fan knows what this moment means. It creates an internal countdown until this moment. And next week, I'm going to dive into the details the best I can from all of the sources that we've got to wrap our heads around the decisions that were made or not made during this time frame on why Carell left The Office. So look out for that. But for now, one of the things that I've always appreciated about season 7 is that every episode chips away at some deficiency in Michael's character. It's one of the things that's always frustrated me about the series up to this point. Michael learns something in an episode and then completely forgets it in the next. It's the Homer Simpson effect.
Sorry, Gabe, but that show hasn't been on in many cookies.
You can't have your main source of cringe or the idiot character grow too much because you'll lose that source of the comedy. But with a finite amount of episodes contracted, the writers were able to create a really long goodbye for Michael, basically dedicating the entire season to his growth and setup for his departure, while also attempting to create hooks in a post-Michael world.
I've seen some horrible things. I own over 200 horror movies.
Okay, that's so weird.
So expect that Steve Carell leaves the Office video next week, whatever I'm going to call it. And honestly, guys, thank you so much for watching the stuff I make. It's super cool to create. It's even cooler to create stuff that people watch and, interact with. So I want to hear from you in the comments. And I look forward to keeping this torch going in a post-Michael world, a post-Office world, and a post-Office world.
When you control the mail, you control information.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Come on, Michael, you're interrupting.
You're kidding me! God! You say radon is silent but deadly, and then you expect me not to make farting noises with my mouth? What is this?